The Little Drum of Courage. Moral: true courage is not in the noise you make, but in the heart that keeps beating through fear. In a quiet African village surrounded by golden hills and whispering trees, lived a young boy named Kaito. Kaito loved sounds: the rustle of palm leaves, the clap of thunder, the chirp of crickets. But most of all, he loved drums. Whenever the elders played during festivals, his heart would dance. He dreamed of owning his own drum, one that could speak for him, sing with him, and tell his stories to the wind. But Kaito had a secret. He was shy, painfully shy. He spoke so softly that even his shadow had to lean close to hear him. So, when others danced, he stood behind the tree, tapping a stick on a log, pretending it was his drum. One evening, as the sun melted behind the hills, a traveling drum maker arrived in the village. He carried drums of all sizes, painted with stories and spirits. Who will carry the rhythm of the next festival? The drum maker. Everyone shouted and clapped, everyone but Kaito. He stood at the edge, his heart pounding like thunder in his chest. The drum maker's eyes fell on him. "You there, quiet one. Don't you love the drum?" Kaito nodded shyly. "I do, sir, but I'm not brave enough to play in front of everyone." The old man smiled, his eyes twinkling like moonlight. "Ah," he said softly, "then you need a special drum, one that doesn't just make sound, but gives courage." He reached into his bundle and pulled out a small wooden drum, smooth and plain. "This," the man said, "is the drum of courage. It doesn't roar, it whispers. But when you play it with truth, it will teach your heart to be brave." He placed the drum in Kaito's hands and walked away. That night, Kaito sat outside his hut, the little drum resting on his knees. He tapped it gently. Dum dash dum 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 dum. It was soft, almost like a heartbeat. He closed his eyes and whispered, "I wish I could be brave enough to play for everyone." The drum seemed to hum back, "Courage starts small." He smiled. Maybe it was just the wind. The next morning, Kaito went to the river. He saw Myra, his friend, trying to cross the stones with a basket of fruit. A fast stream swept her basket away. Without thinking, Kaito ran and caught it before it sank. His feet were shaking, but he didn't stop. Myra gasped, "You did it, Kaito. You were brave." Kaito blinked in surprise. Brave. He hadn't even thought about it. That night, he tapped the drum again. Dum dum, dum dum. And he whispered, "I was scared, but I moved anyway." The drum seemed to whisper back, "That's courage." Days turned into weeks. The festival drew closer. Every night, music floated through the village: flutes, drums, and dancing feet. Kaito listened from afar, his little drum on his lap. The old drum maker returned, smiling. "Well, Kaito," he said, "have you found your courage?" Kaito looked down. "A little, but I'm still afraid to play in front of everyone." The old man nodded. "Fear never truly goes away, my boy. You just learn to drum louder than it." The night of the festival arrived. The fire burned bright in the center of the village. The elders' drums echoed through the air, deep and powerful. Then the chief spoke. "Tonight, a new drummer will join us, one whose rhythm will remind us of the heart that beats even when afraid." Kaito froze. Everyone turned to look at him. The old man handed him his little drum. "It's your time, Kaito. Don't think, just listen to your heart." Kaito's hands trembled. He looked at the crowd, the smiling faces, the glowing fire, the wide eyes. His fear roared like thunder, but beneath it, he heard something softer: dum dum dot 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 dum dum. His drum, his heart. He lifted his hands and began to play. At first, his rhythm was shaky. The big drums overpowered him. But slowly, his beat grew stronger, steady, clear, and real. The people began to sway. Children clapped. Elders nodded. Myra shouted, "Go, Kaito." The firelight danced across his face, and his shy smile turned into joy. He played not to be loud, not to be perfect, but to be true. And suddenly, his little drum no longer sounded small. It echoed across the village like a heartbeat shared by all. When the last drumbeat faded, the night was silent. Then came the cheers, loud, wild, full of love. The chief stood and said, "Courage doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers through gentle hearts." The old drum maker smiled proudly. The drum of courage has found its rhythm. Kaito held his drum close and whispered, "Thank you." He could still hear it hum softly back, "You were brave all along." And from that day on, whenever someone in the village felt afraid to speak, to dance, to try something new, they would hear Kaito's drum in the distance, reminding them that courage can start as softly as a heartbeat. Moral: True courage is not in the noise you make, but in the heart that keeps beating through fear. Subscribe, like, and share to anyone who needs